Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more Bombastic StarLeague. This is the BSL round of 4 in the first match between Sziky and Mihu. Mihu won the first game, so he's up 1-0. We're going to go into Aztec as our second map. Oh, this is going to be kind of interesting. 3-player maps, TVZ, I think are really dynamic. There's a lot of cool ways that you can end up playing it, and there's a lot of interesting expansions that can be taken from Zerg's point of view. So yeah, quite excited to see how this is going to go down. You can see actually pretty well balanced on Zerg versus Terran. So let's see if maybe Sziky can start to fight back. All right, here we go. Over here at 9 o'clock, Sziky. And up at 12, it's Mihu. So, look, I mean, the first game, here's what I think was really strong from Mihu. I think that he macroed really well, and he had a very good idea of exactly what he was doing, okay? It wasn't super recent meta or anything, the way that he played. Like, just making the bio, making the turrets. He took his time on his factory since it was a 9-pool, right? He slowed his build down to kind of match the tempo of the game. He went into mass vessels, macroed really heroically on 4 bases. Yeah, and just kind of strangled him out. I think that that was really strong. But part of the reason he was able to get away with that is Sziky went for a 9-pool and got scouted first. And, you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. I think it's good and an intelligent thing to mix in 9-pools and builds like that. You know, you never know when you're going to get hit by something like an 8-Rax. And something like a 9-pool can just knock down a build order like that. It can catch greedy build orders like Command Center first. Even if your opponent doesn't scout you quickly, sometimes 9-pool can do damage. You definitely can't count on it to, but occasionally you can get a little bit done there. In this particular case, I think Mihu was very safe and defended very well and didn't really give many opportunities to Sziky. I think, you know, so I don't want to overly judge from game number 1. I think Mihu did play better, but I don't want to say that, like, he's a favorite just because of the way game number 1 went, right? We'll see how Sziky goes here with the hatch first and what type of style that Mihu is going to be showing us. Is it going to be more of the same of this SK Terran? All right, so looks like 2 hatchery timing from Sziky. And as far as Mihu goes, like, he's scouting with his SCV. He actually doesn't send a second scout out, really. Like, I guess that second SCV is going towards the other base. So, yeah, that does count as a second scout. I guess he's adjusted the scout time a little bit. Maybe this is to just kind of intercept Lings coming out. Because 2 SCVs are going towards 1 main right now. Yeah, that looks to be what it is. Pool going to be finishing up here relatively soon. First Marines are popping out as well. Oh, it looks like the drone actually got some damage on that Marine. All right, all right. He's one of these drone microers. I dig it. All right, looks like layer gets started pre 3 minutes. So good timing there. And Mihu actually goes up to 3 Marines, now 4 Marines on the like after the command center. So there's actually something interesting about that. If you continue to make Marines like this, what you are doing is you're going for a 3rd depot very quickly, and this will give you more Marines, which will be more stable against larger amounts of early Zerglings, especially middle amounts of early Zerglings you'll really crush, compared to any Academy Rush builds. But because you're not doing an Academy Rush build, if Zerg chooses to take a 3rd base, you have absolutely no recourse against that. Like, Sziky could literally go take a 3rd right now, and there's nothing that Mihu can realistically do to punish it. So we'll see if he goes for that. Yeah, okay, he starts a 3rd hatch, but it's in his main base. So that's actually pretty decent for Mihu. Like, the worst case for him is definitely if there's a quick 3rd. Well, I guess this is a little bit more of a wash, right? Like, he's going to have more Marines, but they're not going to do particularly much for him. So we have that natural command center finishing up. A very beautiful Sim City here to block any Zerglings from doing any harassment damage. And a good layout here as well for Sziky. Few Marines going to come out front and try to push Zergling back. This is always something you want to do. If you can just push back even a single Zergling, it just kind of adds some question marks in your opponent's head. All right, Spire about halfway done. Got a very healthy drone count at the moment. Speed on the way. Very few Zerglings. You can see that this game, Sziky is like already up near the drone count that he was on for most of the last game, right? He was sitting on like 28 the last time for quite some time. So really going in the opposite direction. This is a higher economy build. He does have 3 hatches. So we can see a lot of drones on 2 bases off of that, and we'll see where he goes, right? Like, normally this is going to be, well, first off, this is a very safe style, the 3rd hatch in main. This is called 2.5 hatch in Korea, because it's closer economy to 3 hatch, but it's similar Mutalisk timing to 2 hatch. So, well, same in this particular case. So 7 mutas on the way, as well as +1 attack. Zergling's speed is almost done. Turret's getting started for Mihu. Now, this particular base on Aztec is really difficult to stop mutas at. I just want to throw that out.
Gonzalov 1337 is Subagosu for 7 months. Death Farte Army carrot.
All right, thank you. Big thanks to Zero for sending these VODs over. But look, basically this type of mineral layout shouldn't really be used on modern maps because it's so difficult to defend mutas. Now, I think you're about to see part of why that is. It's such a wide area that you have to defend against. Pretty decent micro here from Sziky. I like it. Very well done. Looks like a couple Marines come over, and he will pick those off very, very easily, very, very quickly. Right, the Bioforces are pushing out. Now, the reason the Bioforces are pushing out is to draw the mutas out of the main base. Because right now the mutas are actually doing too good a job. And again, see how spread everything is? Without your minerals more against a wall, it becomes very difficult to defend. Now, the mutas just kind of jumping on the barracks. This... Oh, Mihu turns around. Mihu's almost dead right now. This is a terrible situation for him. Sziky made definitely the right choice. He made enough Sunkens at home. And Mihu has read this situation as one where he cannot do the counterattack because, well, the mutas are just, they're not coming home. So he had to be able to actually deal damage. That is how you do the counter pressure. Unfortunately for him here, he is in a lot of trouble now. He lost a lot of SCVs, a lot of missile turrets, a lot of Marines. And, well, I mean, we saw a lot of drones end up turning into Sunkens there, so that did hurt the economy. We do have a 3rd base on the way. Sziky can remake those drones. We'll see if he drones up at all. He has fielded quite a few Zerglings, so he might actually go for an army kill here instead. Like, look at how many mutas he's making. Making 5 mutas right now. Okay, he's starting to slip out a few more drones. Hydralisk Den is on the way as well. I think that is pretty crucial. I mean, if you don't have some lurkers to defend your bases, then you will get busted eventually if Terran just kind of reinforces his army nonstop. Mutas flying in quite a few turrets up for Mihu, and that will push him back for now. That +1 air attack's almost done here for Sziky. Factory going to be finishing up. I gotta tell you, I like the fluidity of the timings of Mihu's buildings. Okay, a nice scan that finds out where that base is. And this, again, you're seeing kind of what I was talking about with your minerals like this. It's very difficult indeed to keep them defended. But what I was talking about with the way Mihu's playing, if he doesn't have, like, the money for the factory, he doesn't cut things to get it. A lot of people feel like you need to get the factory out, for instance, against Zerg by 7 minutes. But here you see he's not like that, which I really like. Anyways, we have a little engagement. I'm not sure what that forward force was doing, but Sziky jumps on it and just destroys it. Meanwhile, we have a starport coming up, as well as another barracks. And +1 attack just now getting started. Okay, so we didn't see +1 attack before as well, and we're seeing it now this late. And I'm remembering back to his TVPs where he got +1 late as well. I don't know, man. It doesn't, like, because it's happened twice in a row now, it feels like maybe this is what he wanted to do, was to delay it, but that doesn't even make sense because +1 is so good in this matchup. So I'm a little bit confused. But either way, the mutas continue to do damage. Looks like this group of Bio did kind of walk around everything, and nothing intercepted it until just right there. Another reverse ramp. He runs up, drops the Lurker Egg. It is not even close to the center of the ramp. Gets run by immediately. He had no time to get it there, unfortunately. And it looks like this base should end up going down pretty easily. The muta's coming down frantically. If they can get there right before the Lurker hatches. Yeah, they cannot, unfortunately. I mean, that's a lot of Marines to try to chew through. He might end up doing it. No, the hatchery ends up falling here. And Mihu takes quite a substantial lead from that moment. If you ever kill that third base, that is a back-breaking moment for Zerg. Now, like, Sziky's position is pretty bad here. This is a hard position, but to be fair, he has a good amount of drones. His supply is not that far behind. He is going up to Hive, and let's not forget he has 3 hatches in his main. If it was 2 hatches in his main, his production is literally just not enough. 3 hatches, well, okay, you can still field an army. More mutas being made as the Hive comes up. Now it is a Radiate plus siege tanks coming up, right? So I want to point out that I think in this situation, if you go Guardians, that's actually going to be pretty good against 1 starport. Like, a Radiate is not really a counter to Guardians, right? If your opponent goes to Guardians and truly commits into them, you really need, you know, either Valkyries or Wraiths or, like, lots of Science Vessels, which you normally can't have in time. You wouldn't go Guardians at that point. But yeah, I think that could be a very strong move. We see he's going for the evolution chamber though, so it could end up turning into something else. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is going to be. All right, Mihu coming forward. He has his siege tanks ready. +2 carapace and +1 melee on the way. It looks like it's just going to turn into a siege tank push here. Oh, God, he is going to be able to pick off one of those tanks immediately. Can he get the second one? Oh, the split is just non-existent here, unfortunately. Takes a huge amount of damage from that Irradiate, but he kills one of the tanks, and that slows everything down a ton. Now, there's not a Defiler mount, so he has to break this with pure units. Okay, breaks the siege tank. He loses a lot of mutas for that, but, is he going to be able to break that? I don't think so, right? 3 sunks, a few mutas, a lurker. It's pretty difficult to break. Now, some lurkers going up from behind. There's a Nidus being made over to that bottom right base that got remade as well. Defiler Mound is coming. That's very, very late here. All right, a couple tanks siege up. Well, the 2 more tanks coming. A lot of times Terran players discontinue making tanks after 2. Because you'll never, like, they never won't have Defilers at that point, but, you know, Sziky did skip that for a bit. It's been kind of a chaotic game. A lot of bio coming up now. I think this might actually be it. There's, like, nothing left here for Sziky now. Mihu might be going up 2-0 pretty quickly here in game number 2. All the mutas end up falling. And that should be that. GG is called. Mihu goes up 2-0.